Good evening, doctors. My name is Ankur Gautam, and on the behalf of FDC and MedTalks, I welcome you all to yet another episode of 52 Weeks with Dr. Sanjay Kalra, Season 3. Today's topic is very interesting topic, integrating exercise in daily life. Today's session is brought to you by Yo Zero Calorie Electrolyte Drink Invizal Zero. Now, before moving forward, I would like to announce last week quiz winners. Dr. Shantanu Kumar Bhattacharya from Kolkata, Dr. Sarfaraz Arju Sheikh from Mumbai, Dr. Surjit Kalsi from Noida, Dr. Bharat Praveen Mittakota from Surat, Dr. Satish Kumar Jain from Bangalore, Dr. Rajiv Handa from Delhi, Dr. Anand Purande from Mumbai, Dr. Tanmay Mitra from Calcutta, Dr. Rinku Gupta ji from Mumbai, Dr. Rakesh Bhargav from Delhi, Dr. Ashwini Kumar from Kanpur, Dr. Vinny Hotwani from Mumbai, Dr. Vilas Unnavane from Ashiti, Dr. Ashutosh Das from Tamluk, Dr. Ravi Bhatt from Sirsi, Dr. Sanjeev Puri from Hoshiarpur, and Dr. Sumita Sharma from New Delhi. So I would like to thank all the doctors to take part in the quiz. Now to enlighten us regarding today's topic, I would like to welcome Dr. Sanjay Kalra, Chairperson Education Working Group International Society of Endocrinology and past President South Asian Federation of Endocrinology Society. Over to you, sir.
Diabetes Essentials, Series 2. Today we'll be talking about something very important, something so simple actually, exercise. But many times we forget to do it. For many of us, we feel that exercise is something that has to be done specially. You have to go to the gym, you have to go to the sports field to do it. You need 1 hour at one time. All these are actually misconceptions, they are myths. Let us see how we can integrate exercise into our daily life. If we learn this ourselves, we'll be able to teach our patients. They'll begin to integrate exercise into their daily life and they'll benefit from all this. Their glucose control will come down. Now, what is the aim of managing diabetes? The aim of managing diabetes is to get good glucose, lipid, and blood pressure control so that we can prevent or delay complications. If you want to have good glucose, lipid, and blood pressure control, exercise is important. But now, exercise and diabetes have a bidirectional kind of a relationship. It's a two-faced relationship. On one hand, type 2 diabetes reduces the capacity to exercise. Type 2 diabetes, type 1 diabetes, they reduce muscle function, they reduce cardiac function, cardiorespiratory function, and we end up with reduced exercise capacity. This leads to mortality, cardiovascular and all cause. At the same time, if we use exercise as a tool, as a trick to hoodwink diabetes, we can actually help in management. So, physical activity, exercise should not be viewed just as a victim of diabetes. We can take it as that knight in shining armor which can help us prevent diabetes. When we use the word exercise, many of us feel afraid. But if you just use the word physical activity, regular physical activity or structured physical activity, even that is enough in improving glucose control and in preventing or delaying complications of type 2 diabetes. You can actually tell your patient, based on evidence, physical activity, structured physical activity, has a positive effect not only on glucose, but also on lipids, blood pressure, CV events, quality of life, and it also postpones death. Exercise is a type of physical activity. But when you use the word structured physical activity, that is almost the same as exercise. What does exercise do? It mobilizes fuel and burns it. It also leads to glycogenolysis in the muscle. Aerobic exercise improves glucose levels. It also improves insulin sensitivity, reduces insulin resistance at the level of the muscle, and also impacts the liver. So you have good metabolic control, you have less insulin resistance, and you also have, like we repeated again, improvement in blood pressure, lipids, and body weight. These are the chronic effects of exercise. Along with this, you have a psychological effect also. Many of us are aware of the concept of runner's high. Runner's high means that you get this kick, you get this nasha, tripti, or you get a feeling of bliss when you run for long periods of time or when you exercise. I myself get a runner's high when I go to the gym and when I do aerobics. But like we said, many of us don't start at all. So let us say you are an exercise naive person. How do you start? First of all, you have to know that exercise is a movement of muscles. Muscles are moving. Muscles are moving. This is a stepwise approach for those who are physically naive or exercise naive. In aerobic exercise also, first you do throughout this hierarchy of exercise building, optimization, we should focus on safety, hydration, don't be dehydrated, motivation, and nutrition. So stay well hydrated, well nourished, and keep on motivating yourself and your patient. The exercises we've mentioned, flexibility, you can do it by dynamic stretching or static stretching. Balance practice, stand on one toe, heel to toe walk, and then aerobics like walking, jogging, gardening, dancing, swimming, cycling, stair climbing, resistance like using weights. Begin doing these one by one, and at least begin something. Even 10 minutes of exercise or physical activity is better than 0 minutes. And if you feel lonely, use this concept of barrow buddies. Just like we have Alcoholics Anonymous, a barrow buddy is somebody who's going to support you in your day to day management of obesity or diabetes. And a barrow buddy or a gluco buddy is someone who will also go with you for exercise or who will push you to exercise every day. I have my barrow buddies, and I actually feel much happier when I'm with them in the gym. When I'm alone, also I do go, but it's not the same thing. So I would strongly suggest that anyone living with obesity finds a barrow buddy. Anyone living with diabetes finds a dia buddy or a dia mitra. A dia friend to help fight the disease. Many of our patients are uncomfortable if you advise ways of physical activities that are foreign to them. Like myself, for example, if someone were to tell me to play golf, I don't know how to play golf. What can I do? Someone were to tell me to go boxing. I feel that boxing is such a violent sport. I would not do that. But things that are, part and parcel of my culture, my routine, they would sort of be more acceptable to me. So, whenever you're speaking with a patient, follow this 7I approach. First of all, interview the patient, introspect regarding barriers to exercise, also find solutions for physical activity, identify them, internalize social acceptance, psychosomatic benefits. Like, so you might tell someone, why don't you begin playing kabaddi? Why don't you begin playing kho? That will be socially acceptable in your village, and see the benefits that you will get. You will become socially healthier as well. Why don't you begin walking to the temple or mosque or gurdwara instead of going by bike or by car? Incorporate this into your daily regimen. Once it's incorporated, you intensify one step at a time, and you have to continue indefinitely. Exercise is to be continued indefinitely. What are some of the indigenous forms that we can follow in South Asia? For flexibility and balancing, yoga, stretching exercises at home, start a kitchen garden. Aerobic exercises, walk to the place of worship, daily Islamic prayers. These days, the holy month of Ramzan is going on, so Taraweeh prayers. These are indigenous forms of physical activity which will be socially acceptable. Other socially acceptable activities would be indigenous games like kabaddi and kho, playing with children, indigenous dances like the bhangra or jhumar or gidda from northwest India, indigenous martial arts again like the gatka from India, from northwest India. Or if it's a village patient, why don't you bathe the farm animals yourself? That is a lot of physical activity. Resistance exercises, you don't need to go to the gym actually. If you're a doctor, all you need to is to pick up your Harrison and you do resistance exercise with Harrison. One volume in one hand and just see how that helps build your muscles and prevent sarcopenia. But whatever exercise you suggest, there should be basic pre-exercise evaluation. So, depending upon the status of the patient, do get the test done. Retinopathy, neuropathy, nephropathy, these will have a bearing on the kind of exercise that you advise. Avoid high impact and high pressure exercises in patients with such diseases. Anyone with neuropathy, make sure that they're wearing well-fitting socks and shoes before they go to exercise. We must counsel our patients to begin exercising. And the only way we can do that is if we exercise ourselves. So let's begin today by at least starting to exercise or intensifying the exercise that we are doing. One method that I follow in FDC Diabetes Essentials and otherwise also is I stand while I'm delivering talks or while I'm attending a webinar. At least that gives me 1 hour less of sedentary sitting and 1 hour more of standing. And if possible, while you're standing, you can stamp your feet. So that is also a basic aerobic exercise which helps you. So this is what I do to integrate exercise into my job routine. I also stand in the OPD, so that is 5 to 6 hours of standing a day instead of sitting. So I've integrated standing into my routine work. But let's ask everyone a quiz question. What is one effective way of integrating exercise into a sedentary job routine like ours? A. Take the elevator instead of stairs. B. Sit for long periods without breaks, do a marathon OPD. C. Skip meals so that we can work longer hours and work harder. Or D. Use a standing desk in the OPD or take frequent breaks to walk. So let's ask ourselves again, which is the best way of integrating exercise? Elevator, sitting for long periods, skipping meals, or using a standing desk or taking frequent walking breaks? The second question, which of these is not a suitable time for integrating exercise? So this is a googly question, which is not a suitable time. A. During work breaks. B. Early in the morning before starting the day. C. Late at night before going to bed. D. Early in the morning before starting the day. C. Late at night before going to bed. D. Sitting in the car or in the train or in the bus. So, which is not a suitable time for exercising daily? A. During work breaks. B. Early in the morning. C. Late at night. So, I would like to thank everyone for being with us. Thanks for giving us this opportunity. And I'd like to hand over to T.
Thank you, sir, Sanjay sir, for giving such thought-provoking talk on the topic. And I would like to thank all the doctors to take part in today's session. Next week, again, we will be meeting with new topic. Thank you, everyone. Good night. Jai Hind.